You are tuning in to Nightline with me, Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah. The top stories: BN retains Mahkota seat with a landslide victory. And Op Global, Aussie woman among directors' wives, kids under 7-day police remand. Barisan Nasional Syed Hussein Syed Abdullah has officially won the Mahkota by-election with a 20,648 vote majority. Returning officer Azurawati Wahid made the announcement at 9:11 p.m. at Dewan Tunku Ibrahim Ismail in Kluang on Saturday. Syed Hussein, 40, won the seat after garnering 27,995 votes, while Perikatan Nasional's candidate Muhammad Haizan Jaafar received 7,347 votes. According to the Election Commission, some 53.84% out of the 66,318 Mahkota voters had turned out to cast their ballots in the by-election. This is a slight drop from the 55.7% voter turnout during the Johor state election in March 2022. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zaid Hamidi, in congratulating Syed Hussein, has reminded the newly elected assemblyman to keep his promises and honour his commitments to the constituents. The BN chairman said the coalition's success in the by-election should not lead to boasting or complacency in serving the constituents in the future. Zahir, who is also UMNO president, said BN's win in the Mahkota by-election was a testament to the invaluable service of the former assemblywoman Datuk Sharifah Aziza Said Zain, who devoted her life to the constituency. For Johor Menteri Besar Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi, the victory was a testament to a strong teamwork between all component parties under the Barisan Nasional and the Pakatan Harapan.
Bila kita bekerjasama sebagai satu pasukan, bekerja dalam satu saf, berganding bahu, keputusannya amat merangsangkan. Jadi ini bukan mana-mana solo punya effort. This is really a team effort. Dan alhamdulillah kita dapat buktikan di sini dengan mendapat sokongan daripada rakyat di luar sana. Syukur alhamdulillah.
For geostrategist Professor Azmi Hassan, BN's huge victory in the Mahkota by-election demonstrated the people's growing confidence in UMNO and the Madani government.
27,000 plus vote gained by Barisan Nasional candidate with the background of Pakatan Harapan supporters will boycott this particular by-election using their protests. It did not occur. I think one thing for sure is that UMNO Barisan Nasional supporters went out to vote in droves. And not to forget, Pakatan Harapan supporters too, I think went out in droves. I think basically just a little bit lower compared to Barisan Nasional supporters. So it really shows that Perikatan Nasional is still not there yet in terms of the green wave in Johor. And also another important thing is that the working relationship at the state level plus at the national level within the coalition of the unity government works very well.
The political stability achieved in Malaysia over the past 2 years should not be misused by political leaders to strengthen their positions, but should serve as an opportunity to implement good policies for the people. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim noted that this stability, which has led to a strengthening of the ringgit, a decrease in unemployment and more controlled inflation, has allowed the current government to focus on efforts to develop the people of this country.
Kadang-kadang masih ada orang politik yang sudah agak desperate, yang agak lemas. Dia tengok ekonomi berkembang, ringgit kian kukuh, tahap pengangguran berkurangan dan peluang pekerjaan meningkat.
expressed appreciation for the public support for the 2024 Madani Rakyat program, which aims to provide information to the public about government services directly and to gather feedback from the people. On another matter, Anwar applauded Sarawak's government under the leadership of Abang Johari for its efforts in expediting the construction works of the Pan-Borneo Highway, which has reached 90% completion.
Pelaksanaannya bolak-balik dan lambat. Di Sabah hampir 50% siap. Tapi di Sarawak hampir 90% lebih peratus sudah siap. Tahniah. Dan ini membanggakan kita. Ya, dan projek ini seperti yang kita tahu bukan kecil. Dia mencecah sehingga 16 bilion ringgit.
An Australian woman was among 4 wives and 3 children of a board member of Global Equine Services and Business Holdings, GISBH, being remanded for 7 days starting Saturday. The remand order issued by Deputy Registrar Muhammad Firdaus Abdul Rashid at the Shah Alam Magistrates Court is to facilitate investigation related to child exploitation and trafficking. Lawyer Rosli Kamarudin, who represented the 7 suspects comprising of 6 women and a man aged 18 to 55, said police arrested the suspects at 9 p.m. on Friday in Rawang, Selangor. They are being investigated under, among others, Section 31, Subsection A of the Child Act 2001 and the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act 2022. On September 11, the police, through Op Global, raided GISBH premises and rescued 572 children suspected to have been exploited and abused. The raids also led to the arrest of over 300 individuals linked to GISBH. The operation's 4th phase last Saturday also saw the seizure of several books, documents and photographs linked to deviant Al-Arqam teachings and GISBH. At the same court, the remand period for 10 other individuals to assist in the investigation related to GISBH has been extended by 4 to 7 days. The 10, consisted of 8 men and 2 women aged 22 to 53, had previously been remanded for a week and their remand period ended on Saturday. They are being investigated under Section 31, Subsection A of the Child Act 2001, the Printing Presses and Publications Act 1984, and the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act 2007. Meanwhile, the Selangor government has ordered all premises of GISBH in the state to be closed and for all company assets to be confiscated. According to Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Amiruddin Syari, the immediate action is being taken by the Selangor Islamic Religious Department and the police. The total number of premises ordered closed, including shelters and religious schools, would be announced on Wednesday. In the meantime, Amiruddin said the state government will help children associated with GISBH in various aspects, especially in matters related to education. Previously, the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah, ordered actions related to the GISBH issue to be expedited. The Selangor Zakat Board, LZS, on Saturday confirmed that it had never received any kind of tithe payment from GISBH or its subsidiaries. LZS Head of Collection Division, Muhammad Fikri Naim Harun, said this is despite the board having held talks on tithe collection at GISBH premises. He said checks revealed that there were more than 20 GISBH-related companies on the list, but none have made tithe payments. The board are also unable to estimate the total number of tithe that needs to be paid, as they have not been provided with any information regarding the company's assets and liabilities to make the calculations. Previously, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Wazaruddin Hussein was reported to have said GISBH had also evaded paying taxes to the Inland Revenue Board. The patient who tested positive for monkeypox or clade 2 variant Mpox is now recovering and in stable condition. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said on Saturday that there are no new cases reported so far and advises the public to continue practicing preventive measures.
Kita dalam sangat peka dan saya CPRC telah memberi update pada saya, mereka adalah sangat peka dan on top of kalau boleh kata in control. Tapi tak mahu nak cakap ini sangat ya, tapi we are in control of this Mpox insya-Allah.
On September 17, the Health Ministry had confirmed one positive case of Mpox the previous day. The case was identified from 58 suspected Mpox cases referred to the ministry this year. Commenting on the Mpox vaccine, Dr. Zulkifli said the MVA-BN vaccine for the Mpox virus is only for high-risk groups, including health workers and close contacts of confirmed cases. The government needs to increase the allocation given to every agency related to entrepreneurship in order to help those who want to start a business. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said this is also to enable entrepreneurs to expand their businesses, thereby creating job opportunities. According to him, the success of the entrepreneurs will also give added value to the government through the profit tax paid by their companies, which in turn will support the country's economic growth.
Contohnya agensi-agensi macam Amanah Ikhtiar, Tekun dan juga Mara ni, khusus untuk bidang-bidang keusahawanan ini, dia kena bagi spesifik peruntukan. Kerana ini kita kena galakkan, walaupun kita nampak kadang-kadang kejayaan itu cuma 30-40%. Tetapi 30-40% kejayaan itu sebenarnya dapat melahirkan banyak peluang pekerjaan.
He said this after officiating the Titiwangsa Parliament's Women's Empowerment Program, which aims to increase the role of women in entrepreneurship. Manhunt underway after mass shooting in South Africa. This and more from the Foreign Front when Nightline returns.
Penyakit jantung boleh menyerang dalam diam.
Dalam masa saya jogging tu, heart rate saya walaupun saya start dengan warm up pun cepat saya punya naik. Tapi saya tak ada rasa penat, mengah semua tak ada.
Bagaimanakah cara untuk menjaga jantung agar kekal sihat?
Pertama, kita mulakan dengan jaga makanan kita. Kan? Memang makanan adalah satu punca utama, terutama negara kita.
Jantung, nadi kehidupan. Kami bawakan dalam Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Saya gelandangan dekat Nakes Central selama 5 hari berbekalkan RM20 untuk makan 3 orang. Saya bawa mak saya dalam keadaan dia tak sihat. Anak kecil apa semua.
Api itu masih menyala. Saya sangkakan benda tu tak ada apa-apa berlaku. Api dia sudah menjulang naik ke atas. Dah terbakar, kerja tak ada, nak menjaga pun tak ada.
Onto the foreign front, Hezbollah has confirmed the death of its leader Hassan Nasrallah on Saturday after the Zionist military eliminated him in an airstrike in Beirut the day before. In a statement, the group said it would continue its battle against Israel in support of Gaza and Palestine and in defense of Lebanon and its steadfast and honorable people. It did not, however, say how Nasrallah was killed. Nasrallah, 64, led the Iran-backed group for more than 32 years, serving as a political and spiritual leader who guided Hezbollah to a place of prominence in Lebanon. Among his supporters, the Shia leader was lauded for standing up to Israel and defying the United States. His death marks a devastating blow to Hezbollah as it reels from an escalating campaign of Israeli attacks. Nepal authorities on Saturday said at least 32 people have been killed and 12 others were missing as incessant rain in Nepal unleashed floods and landslides during the past 24 hours. More than 3,000 security personnel were deployed to assist rescue efforts with helicopters and motorboats as part of the country have been inundated. Authorities were working to clear debris and reopen roads to traffic after landslides blocked highways at 28 locations and warned of more possible flash floods in multiple rivers. In the southeast, the Koshi River was running above the danger level with water levels still rising. A weather forecasting official who blamed a low-pressure system over parts of neighbouring India for this year's extended rains said the earliest let-up in the rains might not come until Sunday. At least 43 people have died and millions were left without power in the United States as Hurricane Helen continued its destructive path into the country. Officials on Friday said 3 firefighters, a woman and her twins, and an 89-year-old woman were among the casualties. Insurers and financial institutions also estimate that the damage could reach billions of dollars. Meanwhile, 1,000 National Guard troops were ordered to help with rescue efforts across Georgia after more than 150 roads have been closed, 1,300 traffic signals out, and dozens of people still trapped in buildings. Although Helen has weakened considerably, forecasters said that because of its sheer size, the impact of strong winds and heavy rain have been widespread across Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. South African police on Saturday said 17 people have been killed in a mass shooting in a remote South African town. According to officials, 2 homesteads in the town of Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape were targeted late on Friday, with 12 women and 1 man killed in one location and 3 women and 1 man at a second location. Meanwhile, an 18th victim is in critical condition in hospital. Local media said the victims were relatives and neighbours in the Nyathi village of Ngobozana and were packing goods and presents to attend a traditional mourning ceremony when the attack occurred. Officials have described the incident as gruesome and senseless and have yet to determine the motive or make any arrests. Guraisi's double inspires Dortmund's comeback. Sports right after this short break.
Kau je dah 100 kg. Aku ni dah 100 kg. 200 kg tak payah nak terbang-terbang ni. Aku dah cuba lama dah tak naik-naik.
Kenapa kampung kita tiba-tiba kena serang pejana? Saya tahu macam mana nak selesaikan masalah.
Ini kalau jaring saiz S ni, Maya Karim bolehlah terangkat. Aku lambat lagi.
Sports football, the Super League. 2 matches took place on Saturday night. Perak FC recorded a convincing 3-0 win over Sri Pahang FC away from home. In Kuala Terengganu, host Terengganu FC suffered their second defeat of the season as they lost 1-0 to Selangor FC. The only goal of the match came just after kick-off through Ronnie Fernandez. With the win, Selangor maintained a 6-point difference with leaders Johor Darul Takzim. Still on football, the German Bundesliga, Serhou Guirassy scored twice and won a penalty as Borussia Dortmund overturned a 2-goal deficit to defeat local rivals Bochum 4-2. Fresh from a humiliating defeat to Stuttgart, Dortmund found themselves in trouble again as they went 2 goals behind in the space of 5 minutes. Matheus Barros scored off a smartly executed 1-2 through the centre to open the scoring for Bochum before Danny de Witt doubled the lead after teammate Miron Boadu had snatched the ball off Dortmund's goalkeeper Gregor Kobel. Dortmund managed to claw their way back into the game first with a Guirassy header just before half-time to cut the deficit to 2-1. While Emre Can's penalty in the 62nd minute levelling the score after a clumsy foul on Guirassy. Dortmund continued their comeback momentum as Serhou Guirassy gave the hosts the advantage in the 75th minute. Felix Mencha finally put the result beyond doubt 9 minutes from time, sealing a 4-2 win for Dortmund. With the win, Dortmund improved to second in the table ahead of the weekend's games behind only Bayern Munich and have 10 points from 5 games. Turning to MotoGP, the Indonesian Grand Prix, Francesco Bagnaia won a dramatic Indonesia MotoGP sprint race on Saturday, capitalizing on an early crash by championship leader Jorge Martin to close the gap on the Spaniard at the top of the standings. Pramac rider Martin slid off on the first lap to gift reigning champion Bagnaia the race lead in a blow to his championship efforts with Sunday's Grand Prix and 5 race weekends to go. Martin had secured pole position at the sweltering Mandalika track on Lombok Island with an all-time lap record in qualifying, but could only claw his way back to 10th place after the costly incident. Bagnaia's teammate Inea Bastanini finished second, while 6-time MotoGP champion Marc Marquez of Gresini completed the podium in third. Marco Bezzecchi, who survived a crash in qualifying to secure a front row place on the grid, finished fourth. Body of disabled teen found after being swept away in floods. The details when we come back.
Kelakar.
Saya terhibur sangat-sangat.
Ayah masa dekat atas pokok tu, Abang Ropi masa dia tengah feeling K-pop dia yang yang tak boleh nak terbang tu lah. Dekat betul dengan hati.
Saya paling suka yang part yang diorang berlari tu.
Best lah cerita ni, like je.
Jarang dek tengok Pontianak yang berat ni dek. Ada plot twist. Saya bagi 10 bintang.
8 lah, 8. 9 kot sebab Pak Ropi.
Yes. 8.5. Penyakit jantung boleh menyerang dalam diam.
Dalam masa saya jogging tu, heart rate saya walaupun saya start dengan warm up pun cepat saya punya naik. Tapi saya tak ada rasa penat, mengah semua tak ada.
Bagaimanakah cara untuk menjaga jantung agar kekal sihat?
Pertama, kita mulakan dengan jaga makanan kita. Kan? Memang makanan adalah satu punca utama, terutama negara kita.
Jantung, nadi kehidupan. Kami bawakan dalam Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui tonton.
Don't come close to me, okay?
Zahir! Body dia tu lebih kurang mummified lah.
Pakcik saya tu dia, macam saya cakap, dia seorang yang pendiam, seorang yang tak bergaul dengan orang.
Didakwa membunuh Stephanie Foray, 30-an, di sebuah rumah tidak bernombor di Kampung Tekek, Pulau Tioman.
Thank you for staying with us on Nightline. In Kedah, the body of disabled teenager Muhammad Rosman Rohaidi, who was swept away with his mother, 46-year-old Salmah Muhammad Zain, by strong currents early Saturday morning, has been found. The 19-year-old was found at a palm oil plantation at 5:25 p.m. after a 10-hour search and rescue operation.
Tak sawit je. Hanyut dah tu, tu. Duk berpaut dah dua beranak tu.
Earlier, the mother and son were swept away while attempting to wade through the flash floods in Kampong Tanjung Kiri near Kuala Nerang. District Police Chief Deputy Superintendent Mulkiaman Manzar said Rosman's body was discovered after authorities found slippers believed to belong to the victims about 6 meters from where the body was recovered at 3 p.m. Receding water levels allowed the search to continue, which led to the discovery of the teenager's body about 150 meters from the spot where he and his mother were last seen. The victim's body was handed over to the police for further action before being sent to the Sultanah Bahia Hospital Forensic Department in Alustar. The search for Salma, meanwhile, will continue on Sunday. A total of 1,916 elderly individuals aged 61 and above fell victims to online scam during the first 8 months of this year, with losses amounting to over 255 million ringgit. While the number of elderly victims is relatively small compared to other age groups, the financial losses incurred by this demographic are significant, making them a prime target for scammers. Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID Director Datuk Sri Ramli Muhammad Yusof said that over the past 3 years, a total of 86,266 individuals have been victims of online fraud. Of the total, 5,533 victims, or 6.4%, are aged 61 and above. A similar trend was also observed this year, with 1,916 elderly victims, or 8.9%, among the 21,535 recorded online fraud cases up to August 2024. Throughout these 3 years, the total losses recorded from online scams amounted to over 2.7 billion ringgit, with losses involving elderly victims accounting for over 552 million ringgit. Similar figures have been recorded for 2024, with losses involving the elderly reaching 255 million ringgit by August. In light of this, Ramli emphasized the importance of sharing crime prevention information, especially relating to online fraud, with the elderly. People are also urged to advise their parents, relatives or friends to stay alert and to be wary of any suspicious calls. In Negeri Sembilan, the driver of a sand-laden lorry involved in a fatal accident with 5 other vehicles in Nilai on Friday has tested positive for drugs. The man has been remanded for 4 days until October 1st, starting Saturday, to facilitate investigations under the Road Transport Act. Judge Syed Farid Syed Ali allowed the remand application against the suspect at the Seremban Magistrates Court. District Deputy Police Chief Deputy Superintendent Mat Gani Lateh said the 30-year-old man's urine sample tested positive for methamphetamine. In the 3:45 p.m. incident, a 31-year-old woman was killed after she was trapped in a vehicle and 4 others were injured. The lorry driver and 4 other individuals involved in the accident escaped without injuries. Initial investigations showed that the suspect lost control of the lorry and crashed into 5 cars that stopped at the red traffic light. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the new exhibition exploring the vast network of the Silk Road trade routes at the British Museum in London this week. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.